Hello, everybody, and we are back once more with another exciting coverage of the latest two episodes of the Ninjago Rebooted TV series. As always, I am Messinac, and I am joined today by the one, the only.
Whoa, well, I normally go by the name of LJ, but,
Not to be confused with Jay, the ninja.
Hey! No.
Oh.
One day I want to perfect a J impression. One day.
Do it. That'd be something interesting.
I know. That'd be cool.
I know, amidst all the craziness over Bionicle's return and all that assorted stuff, we're taking a break, a bit of a breather. And we're gonna return to what we've been doing the last couple months.
Couple of years.
System stuff, yeah. So, Ninjago, we have two episodes tonight to talk about. One is episode, I think is it 31? Enter the Digiverse? Yeah, it's 31. And then episode 32, codename Arcturus. And we will be starting things off with Enter the Digiverse. And I'll be honest, maybe it was just because it's been a while since we saw Ninjago and it was taking me a little bit to get into the swing of things again. Or maybe it's actually how I think it is, but was it just me or was the episode not as wow-inducing as some of the other ones?
It had a really slow start. It was really difficult to get into it. I don't know why, but it did eventually pick up kind of toward the middle and then the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the start was really slow for some reason.
They were talking about how they're gonna go into the Digiverse and making video game jokes nonstop.
Okay, I swear. In Pandemic, the entirety of the group, the majority of us, we're Pokemon. Most of the people in Pandemic are Pokemon fans. I'm the only one that's like a Digimon fan. And I kept on hearing Digiverse, and I'm going, gosh, dang it, references.
Lol.
They didn't make one, but still, but yeah, they were talking about getting into the Digiverse. Jay was making jokes. It was funny.
I guess a running theme, I guess it was kind of hinted at way back when, was that Kai's not good with technology. So the whole episode was him failing repeatedly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the episode. Not a lot really happened. There were antics.
Well, okay,
towards
a
the
lot
middle stuff started to happen, but for the first 10 minutes or so, it was just Digiverse antics. And then, I guess as far as summaries go, was it that they had to reboot the system and they plugged the Ninja into the Digiverse to do that because they found a way to do it manually without the need of the hard drive, I guess.
Do you want an LJ summary?
Yes, please. You better at these. I go into
Okay. So, summary. Episode starts off, they're going to get plugged into the Digiverse. Optimus Borg, what was his name?
Cyrus Borg.
Cyrus Borg. He's like doing a bunch of typing with his claw hands. He's going to get the ninja into the Digiverse, which is basically like the internet. And they're supposed to also digitize the Technoblades. So they're going to go in there with the Technoblades and they're going to shut everything down. They're going to reboot the system.
Which is
antics
whole goal
ensue.
For the season.
Yeah. They are briefly interrupted by like the mafia, the mob that are the civilians. The militia, there we go, the civilian militia, and they're like, we want the power back. We want to see our TV shows.
The mafia?
Sorry, the militia, that's the way.
The Ninjago Mafia, okay.
And they're being led by the postman again.
Of course.
And they're like, no, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and defend us because Pythor and Evu, there we go, Evil Sensei Wu, Evu,
works.
He's coming up with Pythor, and then they're going to break into the building and shut things down. Well, they go into lockdown, but they're trying to break in. So the militia, they're going to go down and protect the building. So Ninja get into Digiverse, antics ensue. They find out it's a video game-ish kind of thing. You use their imagination. Borg finds out that, antics ensue. Borg finds out that there tips the virtual city upside down. They imagine their vehicles. Kai fails. They are going toward the base of the digital building where the Overlord was originally defeated, because that's where they need to go in order to reboot the system. More antics ensue, and they end up getting to the place where they need to reboot. They reboot it, but the signal is being blocked by the Overlord. And so, all this time, meanwhile, antics are ensuing with Lloyd. He's getting the golden power sucked out of him to bring the Overlord back into the physical realm. And that's almost done. But then somehow some weird Galley and Takanuva connection thing happens between Lloyd and the rest of the ninja.
I guess they just heard his voice because he was screaming it to the Overlord.
Yeah. And he manages to transfer his golden power digitally to them so that they turn gold and reflect the signal.
I didn't really get the thing that he was transferring his power. I thought they just imagined that they were gold.
May have been one or the other. I don't know.
Because they wouldn't actually have the powers. They were just using the armor to reflect stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. They reboot the system. Series is over. Ninjago is great. So 10 out of 10 would watch. Oh,
Ninjago canceled. To make way for Bionicle, you gotta get rid of that TV slot. Yeah, again. Anyway.
Yeah. So they reboot the system. Overlord seems to be completely gone. The aircraft that Lloyd was being flown in by the Overlord crashes into the ocean.
Rip in peace,
they get
Dragon.
Lloyd. Yeah, the dragon thing. They get Lloyd. Everyone else disappears. All this time, all this has been going on in the physical realm. Iwu came in, fought with the Iwu and Pythor got into the building to try and destroy the ninja and shut the thing off. But all of a sudden, yeah, that's right, Garmadon's in here. And I swear, that has got to be one of the coolest lines I've ever heard in this show, where he busts into the building and chucks Sensei Wu out the window. And Pythor's like, I thought you swore never to fight again. And Garmadon's like, when you took my son, all bets were off. And
Garmadon stole the show. That whole episode.
Yeah, I swear, that was cool. So anyway, they all get defeated. Good guys win. Everyone's happy. Lloyd gets back.
Dun dun dun.
But then cliffhanger ending. Overlord returns.
Yeah, I guess the transfer didn't get fully completed, but they were stupid for thinking that, it would have completely negated. It was 90% done. So he probably got 90% of the golden powers to make his pseudo body.
Pretty much. So, all in all, it was a really difficult start, but a lot of things did happen. They completed the initial goal at the beginning of the episode.
Quite true.
Season.
As far as specific things to mention are concerned, oh hey Alder, remember when you told me a couple weeks ago to not look at a video? Well, I never told you, but I did anyway.
Gosh dang it, Meso!
Because I can't resist stuff like this. And I'm very glad the golden armor thing didn't turn out to be anything more than that.
Okay, the golden armor thing got spoiled for me, and Garmadon's entrance got spoiled for me.
Yeah, overall.
And anyone who's listening to this and they haven't seen the episodes, you just all got spoiled too, and that's your fault, not ours.
Yeah. No, it was a good episode. Just, I do have to be a bit dismayed. I know Pythor had his time to shine. He got a whole year devoted to him being the main villain. I don't mind them moving on. And it's cool to see him there. But it's he's been reduced to a 2-bit henchman. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
It's what's the word to describe it? It's in the Bionicle reboot. Makuta comes back, but he's just playing sidekick to some other chump. Maybe he's the Lord of Skull Spiders' right-hand man. That's what this feels like. It's a bit odd, but cool nonetheless at the same time. overall, it was a pretty good episode. I have few complaints about it, other than the slow build up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So funny story. Due to like some internet issues, we actually had to record part 1 of this coverage before we watched episode 32, Codename Arcturus. And, well, after a break in between, we just finished watching Codename Arcturus, and got a lot to say about this episode.
I'm in such a state of disarray. I don't even know if I can do a cohesive recap.
Yeah. Do you want to try, or would you like me to attempt it?
You know what? I'll give it a shot.
Okay. Good luck.
So, episode starts off, and Lloyd decides to go ahead and give up the rest of his golden power to the other 4 ninja, giving them elemental powers once again.
Which is very smart.
Yes,
actually.
with their Toa transformations out of the way, they all decide to go about their normal lives as if nothing has ever happened.
Bionicle's back half a year too early.
And by that I mean, Cole, Jay, and Nia go to the movies, antics ensue, and we find Kai flirting with some random gal at a gas station.
Not exactly the best place to go for that kind of thing, but hey.
So, back at home base, Sensei Wu, who is now good again, as well as Pixel and some of the others, are trying to decipher messages that they've received, intercepted, about Project Arceus?
Arcturus.
Arcturus, Antarctica. So, they're working on that, trying to figure it all out, and a convoy is going through one area, and Kai is closest to it. Well, Kai's flirting attempts fail in a horrible puff of smoke. Haha, get it? That's a fire joke.
You're funny.
And they send Kai to go after this convoy of trucks, driven by one of the robot generals and, what's his name, Pythor. Antics ensue. He is quite the cocky individual in his new hot rod car, aka Somerset vehicle number 1.
X1 Ninja Charge.
That thing too. And so he goes after them. He's told to follow, not engage. Does he follow that piece of advice? No. Antics ensue. He finds out that they are taking along with them a giant tanker of fuel.
Which is
they go in.
Lit on fire.
Yeah. Battle ensues. Long story short, they get into a tunnel. Tanker explodes, takes the Somerset with it, and Kai is captured. The others find out about this, find out where they're going, locate. Okay, no.
I'll take over. I'll save you.
It's the part.
I'll save you. Okay, so basically, we get to the big reveal, and Ninjago decides to. Okay, so it's either really stupid or it's really brilliant what they've done, and I'm gonna say it's brilliant, and here's why. Long before time had a name, there was once upon a time before we started doing these coverages where we merely watched the episodes. And before the Stone Army, which was the final season of Ninjago, they decided to have half a season of filler. And this was a controversial decision. However, it ended up producing some of the funniest episodes of the entire series, I would say. Most notably a race where like a bunch of different vehicles raced, and there was also one episode with pirates. And they basically said, because this is filler, let's just go nuts. And by filler, of course, what I mean is stuff that did not have sets based off of it. It was purely for the TV show to basically kill time until the summer. However, there was one episode that was very odd. And anyone watching that's been followed Ninjago knows what episode we're talking about. It's the episode where they go back in time. And it was when Lloyd, I guess they made him older for some reason. I'm not sure why they did that, but it made his voice slightly less annoying to listen to, so it was a positive in everybody's eyes. But the way they did it was very convoluted. Went back in time somehow, don't really remember how, and they went through the entire series and tried to change stuff. I forget what they were even trying to change exactly. It's been so long. Do you remember? You've seen it more than I have.
Let me think here. Gee. I know that I think Lord Garmadon went back in the past to tell his past self of his mistakes. And the ninja had to make sure that everything played out how it originally played out in the story.
Because time paradoxes, yada yada yada.
Yeah, in order... Oh, that's right. Lord Garmadon wanted to stop the ninja from ever becoming a team.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't want to kill Lloyd because he was his son. So instead, he just wanted to make sure Lloyd had no teachers.
Yeah, that was what he did, because in the events of this filler arc, Lord Garmadon had taken the 4 golden weapons and combined them together into this freakish mega weapon, which I guess could create stuff.
Yeah.
And it was never really explained the full extent of its powers, and it was never released in a set. It was just something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode, they went through a bunch of stuff and, pulled all the time travel tropes. But then it ended in a very confusing way, because if I remember correctly, they destroyed the mega weapon in the past, which destroyed it in the present. And it went into space. I forget how, but they destroyed it, but it went into space. It flew into space, and it actually was in the episode. It flew into space, and there was like a twinkle, like it
became like a star.
Star, yes. But they never touched upon it again, and it made no sense because it created a time paradox, because the golden weapons were destroyed before they were intended to be destroyed. And
meaning Lloyd could not have been who he was. He couldn't have been older. No one would have remembered.
Exactly, and nobody did.
There wouldn't be a star.
Lloyd did not remember. Everyone else did.
Okay.
But it made no sense. The whole thing was contrived. It was a complete destruction of any semblance of logic. But we accepted it, and we moved past it for one reason alone, and that reason is because it was filler. It was never going to affect the story in any way other than to make Lloyd older, and it was basically just a plot device to kill time, and it was entertaining, don't get me wrong. It just made no sense, but nobody really cared. It was filler. Move on. And pretty soon Ninjago ended, and we were never going to hear from it again. Now that tale's out of the way, this episode has decided to bring back that particular plot line and say that since Lloyd no longer has his golden powers, the only way the Overlord can get his body is to take the golden weapons, which are in space, in a star. And they never say if it's the mega weapon or not, but it probably is. We'll probably see that again. And yeah, they follow it to space. They get in a rocket. They go to space to track this thing down.
That's literally the tail end of the episode. They go to Ouroboros. They find the rocket ship.
They get in,
and split second jump into the rocket ship, and it shoots into the sky.
And it ends very ominously. Like Garmadon saying, "How far must they go?" And Wood doesn't really know what to say. He just says, "Come back safe, ninja. Come back safe." I do not know what to make out of this, because on the one hand, it's brilliant. It's a recycling of something which was probably never intended to be anything, and they're bringing it back to work into their current story and to give continuity to the show. And I will applaud them 100 times over for that, because it's effective use of history. They're doing that a lot this season, returning characters like Pythor, having relevancy again, the Serpentine. If only for a brief second, it shows continuity. The current season does not exist in a vacuum. It is tied to what happened before. But on the flip side, the stupid thing never made any sense when it was filler. And if somebody online has somehow managed to piece it together, maybe we're just being stupid. That's a possibility. Maybe we do not grasp how it all makes sense logically. I've only seen the episode once. I know there's this dude on Tumblr, ninjagotheories.tumblr.com. I'm sure some of you may have heard of him. He may know. If anybody would know, it'd probably be him. If anybody has any clue, please post. You would help us greatly. But it made no sense to us. We only accepted it because it was filler. Now it's not filler. They effectively just made it integral to the main story. So it's a massive positive and a massive negative. But hey, at least at the end of the day, we have ninjas in space.
It's not worth it.
This is some people were always joking around that they would eventually do this. People just didn't think it would happen this year. maybe they'd save that for next year, you know? Ninjas in space. That's a whole year right there. Fighting space aliens, and now they're gonna go to space.
It's not worth it. At what cost, Lego? At what cost?
Yeah. Maybe they'll explain something in the next episode to make it make sense. Wouldn't that be nice?
Maybe.
Because, you know, the Ninjago story team knows what they're doing typically for the most part, except for that one episode. There aren't many plot holes that I've found, or maybe I'm just not looking hard enough for them. But I can't really think of any. But no, when LJ and I were watching, I don't know if the same happened for LJ, but I just couldn't believe my eyes and ears that this was happening.
I know. The strange thing was, though, like we were discussing Ninjago right before we finished the episode, and we brought that up. We were joking around about it.
Whatever
happened
to the golden weapons? Whatever happened to their lightsaber weapons from Stone Army?
And then, bam, they do that, and it's just you jumped the shark, Lego. You jumped the shark.
Well, some would argue they've already jumped the shark with the Ninjago. I mean, the whole skeletons and motorcycles thing.
Okay, fair point.
That was pretty shark jumpy. But time will tell if they're able to spin it into a cohesive narrative. Perhaps our fans can shed some light on the matter. Or maybe it'll just be one of those things we have to accept. It's a kid's show, you know. Accept a couple plot holes for the sake of dramatic storytelling. I'm sure Bionicle had some plot holes, just not ones as bad.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't even know, actually.
There had to have been some plot holes. In the 10 years of story. And all the
There are inconsistencies. But I'm not sure about plot holes.
Well,
we'll look it up later.
Yeah. That was the bulk of the episode, to be honest. The rest of it, you know, it had some funny moments. The whole Cole J Nia stuff is unnecessary as always, but they did reference it. Maybe it'll conclude. It'll have to conclude. The next 2 episodes are the last. One thing I do have to say about the X1 Ninja Charger, and then we're probably going to end with final thoughts. There was this really extended segment with Kai and the Ninja Charger, and it took up literally 75% of the episode. It was just him messing around on the tanker in this Ninja Charger going by the side. I think it got blown up. I could be wrong. It's almost as bad as Invasion from Below, because it was destroyed the moment it was introduced, but at least it got a decent amount of screen time, unlike the Invasion from Below. But hey, Pythor got some cool one-liners. Pixel got some screen time, much needed, if they're trying to establish her as a main character. She needs to do things. And these 2 episodes, she did good in that regard. I think that's it, to be honest. Aldo, what did you think overall? Both these episodes in tandem.
I think they were good. I enjoyed them. Probably my least favorite out of the entire roster this go round.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really difficult to get into episode 31, was it?
Yeah.
Had a very slow start, and in this one, it's dredging up things that we never thought would come to light ever again. We never thought that they would see the light of a TV screen, but they are. So we just have to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they were entertaining, very entertaining. Ninjago is always entertaining, if nothing else. And they were still, I would like to say, better than Chima.
Hands down.
Just the caricatures.
Even Ninjago at its worst is better than Chima at its best. And that's saying something now, because Chima improved last season into something I would call better than merely passable.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good. Now 2 episodes left, and quite frankly, I'm appalled, I'm shocked and appalled that they would pull this kind of risky thing with 2 episodes left. I have no clue how they're gonna get the ninja to space, back from space, and then resolve the final conflict in 40 minutes. It may come off feeling incredibly rushed, and I hope it does not. But no, I'll have to echo your sentiments about these 2 episodes. They were okay. Good setup. A lot of plot stuff happened. Ninja Toa, etc. What are your predictions for the finale? Which we now can actually say Ninjago Rebooted. The finale is coming in September, I believe.
Well, think about it this way. What normally happens in a Lego TV show? The ninja will win. There will be a huge battle. Lloyd will get his powers back, and or they are redirected to Zane.
Okay, yeah,
battle
Zane needs to have more relevancy. I thought this was
Yeah.
supposed to be his season.
Yeah. The battle between Jay and Cole will be decided. Jay will be the victor. Actually, no. Nia's gonna drop both of them like a rock.
Probably, yeah.
Or they're gonna take an even riskier move. Drop Jay. She's gonna get with Cole. That would
make a lot of people mad.
That would make me mad.
Ninjago has quite the active shipping fan base, apparently. I didn't know.
That terrifies me.
Yeah, the Ninjago fandom, scary place.
We're gonna see Misaka again.
Misako.
Whatever.
Yeah, she did kind of disappear, didn't she?
She did. And
Isn't it?
I'm allergic to filler. Anyway. And we're gonna see the final Somerset.
Yeah.
Those are my predictions.
Probably likely.
And they're gonna retcon pirates. Oh, and Purple Ninja.
The pirates. Okay, so if everything's fair game to come back, the pirates are gonna come back and defeat the Overlord for comedic relief. Calling it right now. Hashtag pirates are back. 2015. I mean, no, 2014. Sigh. Bionicle's got me thinking 2015. Well, I would ask this, fans. It has come to my attention, and LJ's as well, I believe, that the final episodes of Ninjago have actually already aired in other countries, and you can find them on YouTube in very low quality. I would ask you this. Please, for all that is good in the world, do not spoil in the comments. Because, we're trying really hard, with the exception of a couple minor things. Nothing's been spoiled for us as of yet. And I would like for, the Ninjago finale to not be met with the same fate, even though, like LJ said, it's pretty obvious to predict stuff. So, please keep that to a minimum in the comments. But otherwise, that's pretty much all for today. We will see you again, technically in August, because that's when Chima comes back, supposedly. But we will see you in September for the Ninjago rebooted finale. Please be sure, as always, to stay tuned to our channel for LEGO news, and now I can safely say this, Bionicle news.
Yeah.
Full force. We are gonna be amping up the videos. Kind of already have. But even though Bionicle's coming back, we will not abandon Chima and Ninjago. We've worked too hard to become invested.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. I am Messinak.
I'm LJ.
And we are just shocked and appalled. And we're gonna go. So, goodbye.
Don't screw it up, Lego. Don't do it. You've been doing so well.